Dare we delve into the vaccine issue, which is going to be a global debate on so many levels? But
we do, Craig. We do, because that's the sort of show we are.
It's on football's doorstep, and the AFL are going to have to deal with it and learn how to pretty quick. Early signs already on this front. Gil McLachlan and Scott Morrison, so the AFL CEO and the Prime Minister, asked respectively over the weekend. Gil is not certain that they are yet to make a decision.
I know different countries and regions are already adopting stuff like that. We haven't considered it yet because we're just not there yet, but we're clearly going to be strongly encouraging everyone to get vaccinated.
And then Scott Morrison's article, which I spoke about, said that he felt that for those who've taken the decision to get vaccinated, they should have the ability for them to be less imposed upon in terms of the restrictions because they've taken the decision to improve the public health position of the country. So that's talking about a passport of sorts for the sport. Behind the scenes, the AFL are working on this, so they haven't said so publicly.
Yep.
Where do you think it sits?
Well, what they're doing is they're working in conjunction with the Players Association. It's gone a fair way down the track. Their sort of medical researcher, I suppose, in Rachel Williams, is running all the research. Basically, what they're first trying to do is educate the players. They can't do anything at the moment anyway because there isn't enough Pfizer vaccine, which they want all the players to get by the beginning of next season, and then they're going to implement a policy. I think they want to do it at club and competition level, and they will get enough of the vaccines. This is a plan over the off-season period to vaccinate every player. They can't force every player to be vaccinated, but at the moment...
Can they stop them from playing if they're not?
They're looking, I think, at certain measures. I mean, what we've seen internationally, of course, is a suggestion that clubs themselves will be liable.
So the NFL was strong last week and came out strongly and said if a game cannot be rescheduled within the current 18-week schedule and is cancelled due to a COVID outbreak among unvaccinated players, among the competing team, the club will be then forfeit the contest and be liable. So they're trying to shift the onus onto the clubs, which then, of course, will shift the onus onto the players that they pick, you would think.
The medical researcher, by the way, is Rachel Elliott. I got her name wrong. I apologise, Rachel.
So what do you
She's doing a huge amount of work behind the scenes, and this is going to happen, Craig.
What's fair and reasonable, do you think? Do you think you need to be vaccinated as an AFL player to play?
It would be nice if everyone got vaccinated, Hutch.
We all agree that do you think it should be mandated?
Not at this point, but there may be a date that comes about.
Kane, what do you think?
Yeah, I heard you I heard you on your podcast today, Hutchie. I tend to agree with you. It's a complex issue and there's some cultural beliefs and other factors you've got to take into account. But most players, I reckon 95% when I was playing, had the flu vaccine to play to prevent themselves from getting sick and from preventing their teammate. Essentially, it's about the safety of the community. It's about preventing further lockdowns, preventing disease and death and illness and hospital, all of that. So we all get that, and it provides an incentive for the community to get vaccinated, which is what we need.
What about the fans at the games? Do you think you need to be vaccinated to go?
I think something like a grand final is a fantastic way to try and make people get vaccinated. They're doing it at international cultural events.
Home and away, round one next year, if you're unvaccinated...
You tell us what you'd do, Hutchie. To go to the footy in round one next year, do you have to be vaccinated?
I think it's absolutely everyone's choice whether they get vaccinated or not. But I think the AFL are absolutely reasonable to not let you in if you're not vaccinated.
And they're certainly talking about that. There are galleries, big galleries across Europe are doing it. You can't go unless you can prove you've been vaccinated and got a negative test. I don't think they'll force players to do it. I don't think they'll ban them from playing. I think the clubs will, though, be somehow liable, and I think they're already planning.
But you're saying they won't make the players do it, but do you feel they'll get to Hutchie's point by round one next year?
Well, that's different, because you're not forcing, nor are you forcing AFL supporters to get vaccinated. But
to go to a game you are.
Yeah, well, we've seen what happened to Carlton Geelong. We have to do it.
Yeah, okay.
I think we absolutely have to do it.
Yeah,
and I think they're already planning on how they're going to roll this out with the players, with Indigenous groups, with other multicultural groups, with players with certain beliefs. Gil McLachlan has already spoken to quite a few players, and I don't think he's had a negative response yet.
There has to be some level of incentive to be part of the community solution to keep people safe. And it doesn't mean you're making people do it. It means you're perhaps making it something not accessible where you might cause harm to others who
have... You can't go to a super spreader event if you're a super spreader.
Yeah, but I'll just be interested in the player and if there's a significant player who says, I'm not doing it.
I think there'll be...
I think that will probably happen.
Yeah. An ability for exemptions based upon religious, cultural or health reasons.
But I do think the clubs might have to be liable in some way if, for example, something happens in a club and it spreads.
I tell you one thing, you're not going to get everyone to agree on that.
Yeah.
No matter what.
No, you won't.
It's going to be a polarising issue.
It's a highly sensitive issue, I understand.
And everyone's got an opinion and it's neither right nor wrong.